everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most infamous games in history, E.T. the Extraterrestrial for the Atari 2600. Now, how did a game tied to one of the most beloved movies of all time end up as a monumental flop? And how did it contribute to the video game crash of 1983? Well, stick around as we dig up the story of a game that was so bad, it literally got buried in a desert. To understand the story of E.T. for the Atari 2600, we have to go back to the early 1980s. The year was 1982, and Atari was riding high as the king of video games.
Okay, men, it's us against them. Another club has challenged us to play an Atari arcade game that we've never played at home. Centipede!
Musa? Yeah. Centipede's fast, like in the arcades, with lots of spiders and scorpions.
How fast are the fleas?
Fast.
They're here. This is gonna be fun. Uh-oh.
Centipede from Atari.
Now, the company was dominating the home console market, and gaming was exploding in popularity. I remember it. Now, around the same time, Steven Spielberg's E.T. the Extraterrestrial hit theaters, becoming an instant cultural phenomenon. Naturally, Atari saw dollar signs, and they wanted to cash in on the movie's success. But, as you'll soon see, not every blockbuster movie translates into a blockbuster game. Now, here's where things started to go wrong. Atari acquired the rights to make an E.T. game for a whopping $25 million. Now, that was a record-breaking sum at the time, but there was a catch. They had to have the game ready for the 1982 holiday season, which gave the developers less than 6 weeks to create it. Yeah, 6 weeks. Now, for context, most games of the era took several months to years to develop. Enter Howard Scott Warshaw, the man tasked with creating the game. Now, Warshaw was no stranger to success, having already developed hits like Yar's Revenge and Raiders of the Lost Ark. But even he couldn't perform miracles under such a tight deadline. With minimal time to plan, test, or refine, Warshaw rushed to design a game that combined exploration, problem solving, and a loose connection to the movie. The result was this. Players controlled E.T., wandering around abstract screens collecting pieces of a phone to call home. Now, along the way, you'd fall into endless pits, dodge random enemies, and try to figure out what on Earth, or what outside of Earth, was going on. Now, the controls were clunky, the graphics were primitive even for the time, and the gameplay was frustratingly confusing. The disappointment was universal. Now, Atari had produced over 4 million copies of E.T., and they expected it to fly off the shelves. Now, the game did initially sell very well due to all the hype, but word of mouth spread fast. Over half of the cartridges went unsold, and many were returned by frustrated customers. Atari reportedly lost over $100 million on the game alone. Now, old E.T. here, he became a symbol of everything that was wrong with the video game industry at the time. By 1983, the market was oversaturated with low-quality games. Many of them rushed to cash in on popular trends. Now, the industry had grown too fast, and customers lost faith. The result? The North American video game crash, which wiped out billions of dollars in revenue and led to the bankruptcy of several major companies, including Atari. But wait, the story doesn't end there. In 1983, Atari infamously dumped millions of unsold E.T. cartridges in a New Mexico landfill. Now, for decades, this was thought to be an urban legend until 2014, when a team of archaeologists unearthed the games. This dig cemented E.T.'s legacy as the worst video game ever made. Now, there's a great documentary about that. Make sure you check it out. I'll leave a link if I can. Despite its failure, E.T. taught the industry some pretty hard lessons. Now, developers and publishers realized the importance of quality control, creative freedom, and realistic timelines. Today, Games based on movies still exist, but they're often approached with far more care. And while gaming had to crash to rebuild itself, the rebirth of the industry gave us the golden age of consoles like the Nintendo Entertainment System. So what can we take away from the ET disaster? Sometimes even the biggest brands and best intentions can't save a rushed product. But the story of ET is more than just a cautionary tale. It's a reminder of how far gaming has come, and how, even in failure, there's something to learn. So what do you think? Have you ever played ET? Let me know in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching. I enjoy spending time with you here at the channel. Now, don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you would, and hit that notification bell. That way you don't miss the next video coming out. It's always something different here on the channel, from retro gaming or vintage computers or vintage audio or video equipment. So there's something here for everybody. Make sure you don't miss out. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time. Happy playing.